Your moment starts today. We do not have time for imposter syndrome. We do not have time to doubt ourselves. We're no longer going to doubt ourselves. I want you to say in the comments right now, if you're still with me, I'm not going to doubt myself anymore. It's time to take back control and stop thinking about what we should do for other people and what we should do for ourselves becoming priority. So, yes, we should help our friends and our family. We should be good people in this world. 100%. I always will say that. But I think sometimes we overlook ourselves, we neglect ourselves. We also call ourselves names that keep us in a box. So for instance, when someone asks you what you do or how you identify, do you say, I'm an entrepreneur, I'm a founder, I'm a business owner? Or do you say something like, I'm an aspiring entrepreneur, or I'm trying to ... I want you today to start calling yourself an entrepreneur, if that's what you are. I want you to call yourself an entrepreneur, even if you're at the very earliest stages of building your company, because this is what entrepreneurship is. This research and development part is what entrepreneurship is. So you don't have to be very successful and be very wealthy or kind of try to keep up with the person next to you. Oh, I don't have this or that. I don't have employees. I don't have that. You are an entrepreneur. You remember, did you ever see Sister Act 2 when Whoopi was talking to Lauryn Hill, her character, and she said, you're a writer if you wake up wanting to write. Nobody has to tell you you're a writer. You don't become a writer, you are a writer. So you're an entrepreneur or whatever it is that you have been aspiring to be. I want you to stop apologizing for your ambition. Stop apologizing for wanting more for yourself, for wanting to break out of the norm of what you are surrounded by. Where do you live right now? Who are you surrounded by? Who are you having conversations with? Are they people who want to see you win? Are they people who praise you and lift you up when you have a small win? Or do they say, oh, that ain't nothing. You didn't do anything special. That's not as good as ... Do you have somebody in your life who does that to you? I know I'm reading some of you right now. Do you have anybody in your life who does that to you, who belittles you, who puts you down, who tries to make you feel less than? Let me tell you right now, that person hates themselves. You should pity that person, but you should also get away from that person as quickly as you can. Doesn't mean you have to just leave them in the lurch. Doesn't mean that you have to abandon them, but it does mean that you don't have to go out with them when they call. You don't have to respond to that text message immediately. I have learned this. It's taking me 40 years to learn this. I'm 44, and it's taking me years and years and years. And sometimes I think back on some of the ways I allowed people to treat me in my 20s and my 30s. And I feel ill. And I feel so sad about it and disappointed. But I'm not disappointed in myself, because I taught myself a while ago that this is all part of the human experience. We're all going through it. Every single one of us has this. Your favorite celebrity, your favorite athlete, your favorite person of note, scholar, they have all gone through this. That's why there's art. That's why art exists, because pain exists, and because betrayal exists, and because deception exists. This exists all around us. So if you've gone through that, or if you're going through that right now, you didn't do anything wrong, as long as you tried to treat people well. But what I will tell you is that staying in that situation where a friend of yours can take something you've accomplished and belittle it and turn it into dust within a sentence, that is something that you can control. That is something that you can change today. You can make a decision today that you are no longer willing to do that and to stand for that and accept that. You're no longer willing to be the butt of someone else's joke. You're no longer willing to be the doormat for someone else. I know it's easier said than done. It's not just a snap of the fingers and all of a sudden you have a different way of handling these things in life. But I want you to start thinking about it, because if you start thinking about it today, if you're aware of it today, then this is the first day of the rest of your life. You have to care about that. You have to care about your well-being and how you're treated. I wish someone had told me this. I wish someone had told me this over and over and over again in my 20s and in my 30s. And even sometimes in my early 40s, I wish someone had said to me, you are worth more than this. And I have amazing people around me who tell me all the time how wonderful they think I am. But I want to tell you right now, in case you don't have that, that you are better than the way you're being treated by certain people. And it's keeping you back from the dreams that you have and the ambition that you have. So you're not going to worry about saying, oh, I want to be this, or I want to achieve that. I want you to also focus your energy on building a life for yourself that has a foundation that allows you to do the things you want to do. I can't tell you how different it is to look at a bank account and know I have something there. It's going to catch me if I fall. I don't have to worry about paycheck to paycheck because there's a cushion there. And I'm not talking about credit cards, and I'm not talking about, a get rich quick scheme or something that happens overnight that you can't sustain. I want you to start thinking about, what are you consuming online? What are the stories you're being told? And what I mean by that is that sometimes I'll see videos that say things like, this is the lazy way to do this. This is this easy way to do that. Sometimes I'll even put in my thumbnails, being rich is easy. No, it's not. No, it's not. The context and the content is important. What are you being told, and what lies are you being told, and what are you allowing yourself to believe? It's important to consume things online, just as it's important to have people around you who lift you up and say, and clap for you and say, yes, you can do it, or hey, it didn't work out this time, but you got it for next time. That's so important. It's also important that you consume the right things online. I feel better when I eat better food. I feel better when I consume better. And it's the same thing when it comes to what you're watching online or what you're watching on television or where you're going. Now, this is a chaotic time. I know this is an evergreen sentence, but this is a chaotic time in our lives. We are living in some times that are very, very unprecedented, as they say. And no matter how you think or feel or believe, you may be going through some chaos. But we have to care enough about our future selves to take action, even in the chaos. A few days ago, when a major national event happened, I got under the covers again. I was like, oh no, no, I personally do not like the outcome. And I don't know if I can persevere this time. I did that for a few hours. And then I got up and I started looking around at what I had. I started looking around, and it's small things. It's not, I don't live in like a mansion or anything. I live in a nice apartment that has a great view. I have a wonderful spouse. I have great family, great friends. And I just looked at that. And I remember looking out into the view that I have, looking out across LA from downtown to the beach. I can see in the mountains. It's crazy. And I remember thinking, there's a street in front of me that I used to walk up and down when I was homeless, and I was crashing on my friend's couch. Very much so had outstayed my welcome. And I would just walk up and down that street, and I would go into a coffee shop that I can see from my home now. And I would walk into the coffee shop and I would take out $1 if I had it. And I would buy one thing like a donut or a small coffee or something that I could get for $1 or with change. And I would become a customer. So then I could sit there for hours. In my view, that allowed me to sit there for hours. And I remember thinking that a few days ago, like, you used to be down there doing that. That used to be your reality. You're gonna wake up and you're gonna get right back at it in my own way. My own way has changed. I'm being real with you. My way has changed now. I feel a little bit like my villain origin story is starting. I feel, if you feel that way, let me know in the comments. If you're like, oh, something has happened recently or in the last few years where my villain origin story is started. Put that in the comments. That'll be fun for the algorithm. But at the same time, it's a like a renewed sense of life. It's a renewed sense. So I'm excited about a few things. For instance, I'm excited about YouTube. I'm excited about all the videos that I'm going to be putting out. I'm putting out a video every single day lately, and it's so much fun for me. It's so fulfilling for me on many levels. And I appreciate your feedback. Every comment, I read every single comment, and all of your comments help me so much in my life. I thank you so much for subscribing, for being a subscriber to this channel. It's just fulfilling to me in a way that I have not experienced before. And I've experienced some really cool stuff. So I'm looking forward to that. I'm looking forward to building out my membership. I'm looking forward to just getting to meet more and more people over the next few years, having events and going to people and maybe releasing a third book. I have two out. One's called It's About Damn Time. One's called Your First Million. They're both really great books, and I want to write another one. So it's that's all exciting. But what I'm looking forward to the most is I'm looking forward to continuing, it's already started, continuing to hear the stories from you telling me this video you put up, or this book you wrote, or this interview you did, or something you said on social gave me the confidence to start something. And I have started something and I'm doing this. So I want you to say yes to yourself. Say yes to yourself. You remember we talked about a few videos ago, we talked about the artist Pink, the musician. I love Pink. I've been following Pink for more than 20 years. I went to one of her very first concerts years ago when she had 3,000 people in the building. Now she like sells out stadiums across the world. But Pink has an account, an FU account, bank account, where she puts money in that FU account so that she can bounce whenever she wants to. She doesn't have to be beholden to a record label, be beholden to any one sponsor or investor, or any one person, any one friend or family member for that matter. And she builds that. So that's something I have been working on, because that to me is freedom. So you can have either an FU bank account or an FU stream of revenue. Think about that for a second. Do you want to have an FU stream of revenue, which means I can just say that to anybody I want to if they get out of line. So your stream of revenue, what is that going to be for you? What's that going to be for you where you say all the money that comes from this particular stream of revenue is going to go into this bucket, and it's going to go into savings and investing and pouring back into myself and my own development, my personal development, my company's development. But I'm going to make sure that I get paid first. I get paid first. Make sure you say that. Put that in the comments if you're still with me. I get paid first. You're going to pour into you first, and you're going to care about what the next 10 years look like for yourself. And I know you do, by the way. I know you care. I know you care internally. But are you doing the things that it takes to make it happen? Or are you looking at your feet in despair because of where you are today? I almost made that decision just a few days ago. I almost made the wrong decision to live in despair and to say, people don't care about me, I'm not going to care about them. I had to tell myself it's time once more that I start giving an F. It's time once more that I do that about other people, but really importantly about myself. I know it sounds selfish. Some of us are programmed by parents or who we grew up with or our friend group or society in general. We're programmed to think that we are selfish if we care about ourselves first, if we pay ourselves first, if we worry about our own interests first. Because there are some people out there in the world who are doing that, but it's not, I'll tell you what the difference is. They're not caring about themselves first, and therefore it's a bad thing. They're caring about themselves only. That is a major difference in what we're talking about right now. There are some selfish people in this world. I'm not saying to you to care about yourself only. I'm saying to care about yourself first. First. I need you to be the best version of yourself. I need you to care every single day about what happens to you. I was at a party a few years ago before the lock-in, and there was this young man, he was probably 20 or so half my age at the time. And he had this recent scar on his hand that was really gnarly. And I was like, why don't you have something on that? Why didn't you go to the hospital? Like, what's going on? And he told me that he was frying something and burned himself, like within 24 hours of that. But he was at this outdoor party. And I said, why aren't you taking care of yourself? And he said, oh, it's not a big deal. And what I thought about in that moment was the scar that it's going to leave, more importantly, the pain he's probably in now and will continue to be in, potential side effects, infections, things like that. And I thought, oh, he's never been taught to care about himself first. He's never been given that. And how many of us have been? Was I taught that? I don't know if I was, but I know that I learned it over time. And I know that it's not too late if you haven't been doing that to start today. So I told him, I said, you're going to a clinic right now. You're going to a clinic and then you're going to come back to the party. Because I couldn't sit idly by and watch him in pain, but also watch him not understand the future repercussions of perhaps not fixing that scar. And also not understanding how the next time something like that happens, he will just sit idly by. I couldn't sit with that. I may be wrong, I may be right, but I just couldn't personally sit with that. So I feel the same way when I see people in the comments or talking to me, reaching out to me. I get thousands of messages per month that I get to look at and just like take in. And I can't respond to everybody for sure, but I do read most of them. And a lot of it is, I need your help to take me here. I need you, Arlan, I need you to do this for me. No. I need you, the person writing me, to do that for yourself. I will cheer you on. I will give you the tools and the resources and the advice that I can muster, all of it. I will give you everything that I have when it comes to that. But I need you to give an F first.